Hi, today I'll tell you about the movie, That Awkward Moment, which one was released 2014. This is a story about three best friends from New York, one way or another wasting their lives. Jason likes to pretend to be a nice guy in front of girls and hates when one-time meetings turn into something serious. Daniel has a girlfriend who helps him look for girls for one night. And Michael, returning from work early, finds his wife, Vera, at a meeting with a lawyer and suddenly finds out that she wants a divorce. After learning about the latest events in the life of a friend, Jason and Daniel decide to do something that will help Mikey get distracted. Daniel offers to rent him a girl for the night, but Jason immediately takes him down from heaven, reminding him that they don't have money for it. Daniel, in turn, shows him an entry from a magazine about East Side girls, which says that the bars and clubs of the Eastern District are full of girls who themselves are looking for connections only once and who will not have to pay for it. Jason and Daniel work together as book cover designers. At the next working presentation, the guys appear completely unprepared, but they are cunning and resourceful enough to improvise and sell the idea in just a couple of minutes. After work, the guys gather at Jason's. After taking some of his belongings from Vera's apartment, Mikey joins them. He plans to spend the evening drinking whiskey and eating ice cream, but his friends don't like it and they drag him to one of the bars on the east side, where the guys, along with Chelsea, Daniel's girlfriend, get drunk and look for a mate. Chelsea introduces him to another girl, with whom she herself is familiar for a few seconds, imagining the guy as a teenage virgin who wants to sleep with someone before graduation from school. During a conversation with Jason, Mikey notices that a girl is looking at his friend from behind the bar, and Jason, barely exchanging glances with her, immediately goes to get acquainted. Michael stays and tells a stranger a story about his wife and a lawyer who turned out to be her lover, and she leaves him her business card with a number so that he will call when he is ready for a new relationship. Simultaneously with Jason, another man approaches the girl at the counter, who insistently offers her a drink with him and does not understand her refusals. The girl quickly boils over and verbally humiliates him, almost directly calling him boring and annoying, and Jason supports her and helps get rid of the annoying boyfriend. However, when Jason already offers her a drink, she agrees without a doubt, and after the bar they already go to her house and spend the night together. But when Ellie falls asleep, Jason notices a magazine on the floor in her bedroom, which a friend showed him in the morning, and finds all those signs in the room indicating the kind of her activity, and carefully leaves, realizing that he has nothing to pay with. The next morning, the guys gather again at Jason's, go to a cafe for breakfast, and exchange the events of the previous night. Mikey admits that he never picked up a girl from the club because he loves Vera and is going to call her to discuss everything and fix the situation. Jason and Daniel dissuade him with all their efforts and then force a friend to conclude a pact with them not to start a serious relationship. However, Jason's good start to the day was spoiled by an unexpected meeting with Ellie at a work briefing. The girl turned out to be a client in his company and now decided to covertly find out the relationship with him right in front of the rest of the department staff. Later, the guys are left alone and Jason can't think of anything better than to tell her the whole truth. He explains to Ellie that he mistook her for a prostitute, but immediately apologizes and begs her for a second chance. The girl pretends that she is ready to let him make amends and hands him a piece of paper with a message to go away instead of a phone number. Even after receiving a rude rejection from the offended Ellie, Jason takes steps to establish a relationship with her. The guy leaves her a parcel with a drawing on which he depicted a situation where she forgave him and still gave him a chance to start all over again. Later, the couple meets in a coffee shop, forgets this ridiculous incident, and gets to know each other better. When Jason walks Ellie home, she tells him about her dream, a large apartment in an elite area of Manhattan. Jason is doing his best to jump into bed with her again, but Ellie is actually set up for something more serious and wants to get to know him better before letting him in. Vera comes to visit Michael at the hospital. The girl is very embarrassed and ashamed that she came to him as a doctor and not to discuss everything in an adult way. But they still have to talk, and Chelsea and Daniel, meanwhile, meet again in a bar, but this time Daniel arranges for a friend to meet a pianist, but they don't succeed, and in the evening Dan visits Chelsea at her house, and over drinks they decide to move to another level of relations. Returning home to Jason, Michael finds a friend with another girl for one time in bed. He reproaches the guy for running after one girl and sleeping with others, but Jason makes it clear to him that Ellie will soon become one of these girls too. A little later, he invites Ellie on a date and asks her to dress nicely, and while the woman enthusiastically talks about the merits of housing, Jason pulls the thing out of the locker, quickly pulls Ellie along with her and climbs out of the house through the window. After waiting for dark, the couple sneaks into a closed park and Jason gives her the key to the park. Vera, meanwhile, flies into Michael's office, worried about his request for an urgent meeting. Misinterpreting his message, she decides that something is wrong with her tests and she has some serious illness, but Mikey apologizes for making her worry and explains that he just wanted to talk about their relationship. Having calmed down a little, Vera reproaches him for not being spontaneous enough for her, and the guy suddenly kisses her in an attempt to prove the opposite. The trio once again gathers at Jason's when Ellie comes to visit them. Friends persistently persuade the guy not to let her in so that she does not spoil their men's evening, but he does not listen to them and opens the door for her. The guys don't really hide their disappointment when meeting her, however, Ellie joins their company very quickly, and the guys already take her for their own, and when she is going to go home, they even try to persuade her to stay. Before leaving, the girl informs Jason that her birthday is coming soon and invites him to a costume party. The friends go to the bar again with Chelsea, and when she introduces Daniel to a random girl, the guy can't even connect a couple of words. Jason and Mikey tease him for this failure, and Dan himself realizes that he is in love with Chelsea. And when they are alone at her house, he admits that he wants to be with her, and the girl reciprocates him. Michael and Vera are also gradually building a relationship and are no longer thinking about divorce, but the guy tells his friends that he sleeps with a girl from a bar. Jason comes up with an idiotic costume for Ellie's party, and when he gets there, he realizes that all the guests except him are dressed in simple classic suits and dresses. Getting to know Ellie's parents is really awkward and strange, but soon Jason gets closer to her father and even wins his sympathy. After the holiday, Jason stays to help Ellie clean up the apartment and realizes that he no longer wants her to become one of the fleeting girls for a couple of times. Each of the three guys gets serious feelings but does not want to tell the others because of the pact they made and swore not to break. When the guys meet again at the bar and exchange their sexual achievements, one after another calls from Ellie arrive on Jason's phone, but he does not want to pick up the phone so that his friends do not decide that they are serious. Mikey and Daniel still force him to answer the phone, and Ellie informs the guy that her father has died. Michael advises him to go to the funeral and support his girlfriend, and Daniel, on the contrary, dissuades him from this venture. In the end, Jason decides not to go so as not to commit himself to anything serious. Michael is preparing a festive dinner for two with Vera in honor of Thanksgiving, but when he looks into the wardrobe for a suit, he finds her lover's jacket there. The wife justifies herself by saying that she has been wanting to have children for a long time and he is not ready for this at all. Upset, Michael arrives at the Chelsea family's party, where he meets both friends and a girl. During the skirmish, the whole truth comes out, which the guys tried so hard to hide from each other or from themselves. All four of them start getting angry at each other and stop communicating for a while. Jason tries to reach out to Ellie, but she abandons him because he wasn't there when she needed his support. She gives him the key to the park and leaves. The guy decides to go back to the old way of life and sleep with everyone, but it no longer seems to him as fun as in the old days, so he goes to Mikey to apologize, and the next morning he meets with Daniel, and he admits that he too is no longer interested in a rampant bachelor life. On Jason's advice, he runs to Chelsea to tell her everything he feels about her, but accidentally walks into the roadway and gets hit by a car. Fortunately, the guy manages without serious injuries, and Chelsea visits him in the hospital, and Daniel, taking advantage of the chance, finally apologizes for his lies and confesses his love to her. After looking at the relationship of friends, Michael also decides to use a business card with a number and invites a girl from the bar on a date. A couple of months later, Jason can't forget Ellie and digs into her social media pages. Daniel and Michael persuade him to try to win her back and go with him to the presentation of the book she is leading. Jason volunteers on stage, pretending to read an excerpt from a book. He reminds her of the story of their acquaintance, and it seems that he understood his mistakes and is ready to correct himself for her. Jason asks her for another chance and then spends 4 hours on a park bench in the hope that she can forgive him. And in the end, she joins him. Thanks for watching.